SilentHeroFilms.com, SilentHeroFilms.com. So Blue Blood is live right now, and I had a chance to listen to him on the way back from the gym, and he said, I'm gonna give you guys, which I've told you guys already, but now you guys don't want. Now the truth is starting to come out, and it's starting to leak out through various sources. But last year this time, I gave you the play, and I was deemed a hater, Earl Spence hater. I think I love Earl Spence enough to tell him the truth. And when he found out on his own that Al Haymon was the linchpin that didn't want Terrence Crawford attached to Earl Spence in any way, Earl Spence cleared the interference, and they made personal phone calls to one another, and ultimately the fight happened. Right? Now, with that being said, he says, Blue Blood title was, is it Al or Stephen leaving Showtime, or Showtime leaving PBC, or PBC leaving Showtime? They've been not getting along, man. The moment Mikey Garcia and Earl Spence and PBC and Fox did that rollout, when Showtime spent countless hours, millions upon millions of dollars, building these fighters up to the point of where they can be successful, Steven Espinoza realized Al Haymon isn't as loyal as he says. Now, I don't know who's more loyal, who's less loyal. I'm just giving the perspective, allegedly the perspective of one side of the story. You know, and Al Haymon is probably lying on the side of business. It's just business, baby. You know, business, you know. And now he leveraged each of them. And now he's out of locations and funds to put on fights. Now, I'm going to tell you 2 fights that's not going to happen on Showtime, because Showtime don't want the fight. Where do PBC put fights on? Only Showtime now, right? Andy Ruiz, Deontay Wilder fight, a major component along with whatever the fighters believe, right? Because remember, you got one man negotiating on both sides, right? Well, if that one man doesn't have a network to put the fight on, where's the fight gonna go? He doesn't have his own network, doesn't have his own app, nothing. There's no location for the fight. Showtime doesn't want Andy Ruiz, Deontay Wilder at all. Now, they'll take them for if they wanted a rebate and it wasn't on pay-per-view, they'll do it. You know, but at the rate that they want it, it won't happen. Fast forward. Blue Blood is on to something. I told you guys a month ago, Fred's a hater. The rematch won't happen, because I knew Showtime was going out of business. Showtime is not going out of business, excuse me. They're separating themselves from boxing, live sports. As it pertains to PBC, they'll probably pick up another live sport package. But I knew the fight couldn't happen because they won't be there. 1, and 2, the rematch and the guarantees and what these fighters want to fight, the Showtime is not willing to put up the money. Now, here's the most intriguing part of it. I just pulled into my carport, as you guys can see. I have another driveway that takes me to the garage, and it takes me to my circular driveway that I have to get into my front door. So I have multiple points of entry to get into my estate. You say, why did I mention that? Because I took the risk. I put up my own money to put myself in position that I am in. What are you talking about, Fred? And here's what these fighters are going to learn. Al Haymon doesn't put up his own money. He's the middleman to y'all. He's a middleman up there. He's a peon. Al Haymon is not an important man. No. Life goes on without Al Haymon in the entertainment industry. He doesn't put up his own money. If he was independent, if Al Haymon was the Negro lead of entertainment, he would be more important. But because Al Haymon sits at the desk on the wrong side of the desk, listening to these people, whoever they are, just like Puffy, Al Haymon is simply an influencer, just like Puffy was with Ciroc. He never owned it. Al Haymon, guess what? Doesn't own no piece of Fox, doesn't own no piece of Showtime, doesn't own no piece of whatever network that he is on as it pertains to boxing. He didn't create PBC as an entity. He has survived and lived and flourished with OPMs, other people's money. Whether it's loans, whether it's hedge funds, whether it's networks, or whether it's concert tickets. Other people's money. Al Haymon's job is to be Puffy. Be the face of AEG or whoever else, and get Drake and everybody else to, like they say, Al Haymon checks. Those aren't Al Haymon checks. No, not at all. No. Yeah, he made some good investments in Clear Channel. It's done. That was yesterday's newspaper. How many times do you read yesterday's newspaper? Not often. So these fighters got to understand. Al Haymon and Lil Stephen don't get along. Allegedly. They not on the phone talking business, game planning together. No. Stephen Espinoza tells you in interviews. He's the platform. He's the payee. Payer, excuse me, right? He gives the checks. We'll go with that. To keep his job. Stephen Espinoza is in charge of sports and entertainment for Showtime. Basically, he's the manager over the employees at Starbucks. Simply that. It's just a higher paying job and more people see it. He's basically the manager at Best Buy. That's it. Al Haymon is his connect to get the supplies in the store. Simple that. And when Al Haymon took his supplies to Walmart instead of Best Buy, it put Stephen Espinoza as the manager of Best Buy in peril. Guys, get it? Simply the manager. Stephen Espinoza probably owns stocks, but he's not a decision maker. Al Haymon probably, I'm willing to bet his stock portfolio is crazy. You know, I'm willing to bet Al Haymon is worth a handful of millions. But he's not the man y'all think he is. Google AEG. Where do Al Haymon put his fights on? MGM. Who owns MGM? Go to StubHub Center and check who's the owner of StubHub Center. Al Haymon has a connection with the tickets, man. And he parlayed that in the boxing because the people behind him knew that it was a free market. Al Haymon is only in boxing because it's a free market. It is not regulated by the government. And guess what else is not regulated by the government? Tickets. And I applaud them because once you learn the rules, you abide by the rules. So you guys got to understand something. You abide by the rules that it's governed by. He ain't breaking no laws. He's abiding by the law. Just like I tell you guys mad at Trump. Trump ain't break no laws as it pertains to his taxes. Y'all mad he buried his ex-wife on his property. He understands the law. He understands the Constitution. Y'all don't understand the law. Al Haymon is a ticket man. No more, no less. Nothing special about Al. He's the face. What does he own? Does he own a network? Does he own a stadium? Do PBC have an office? No. Do PBC has a gym? No. Do PBC own a network? No. Do PBC have an app? No. Because he just wants to be successful in unregulated businesses. And he's done a masterful job. Boxing is unregulated. I can walk in with 100 million and put on fights, if I so choose. This is the reality. Lil Stephen and Big Al don't get along. They haven't. Go check my interviews, man. I asked them about that. Was it in private, Lil Stephen? Or was it? I don't know. But basically, he turned his back on Lil Stephen. Man, stop dyeing your hair, Lil Stephen, dog. Come on, man. Come home, man. Come home, man. Don't dye your beard, man. That look weird. Because you got patches. It looks weird. It's dark in one spot, lighter, dark in one spot. Don't do that, dog. Up here, too. Man, just grow old gracefully, man. Y'all be trying to hide and, you know what I mean, wearing caps. Like, what was that? Kenny Porter put shoe paint on his hair. And, I mean, his head is it's just weird, man, how a grown man on 100-degree weather is wearing a hat. That's weird. Not weird to me, but that's insecurities. Like Kenny Porter wearing a hat. That's like Lil Stephen dyeing his hair, man. Everybody sees the dye, man. They got patches, man. You know? We see it thinning. You're a successful man. Lie on your successes. Lie on who you are. Anyways, as I digress. So, I'm going to leave y'all with this. Because I need to go take a shower. If y'all would have listened to me, at the very least, you would have been as wealthy as I am. If you would follow me on Instagram, took my stock options, if all you fighters, if Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford would have put the fight on themselves, simple. Took the fight, and you say, Fred, they can't do it. Yeah, here's what you do. You say, DAZN, I'm giving you $1 million. Will you put the fight on? They ain't got no middlemen. They would have gladly did it for $1 million. Gladly did it for $1 million. How you know they won't rob you? You hire an auditor. Simply put. How many people clicked that button? It's a publicly traded company. Everything is public, right?